Welcome friends to my fairy tale ASMR. Tonight I'll be reading from the 365 storybook collection, and the first story is from Pinocchio, Follow Your Star. Jiminy Cricket was a wanderer. He loved the independence, the excitement, the simplicity of his way of life. But lately Jiminy had noticed that there was one thing missing from his vagabond lifestyle: a purpose. Camping one night by the side of the road, he sat on his sleeping bag and gazed into his campfire. "I wonder what it would feel like to be really helpful to someone," he said. Jiminy tried to get comfortable on the hard ground as he looked up into the starry night sky. As his eyes scanned the many tiny points of light, one star to the south jumped out at him. It seemed to shine brighter than all the rest. "Say, is that a wishing star?" he wondered aloud. Since he couldn't know for certain, he decided it would be best to make a wish on it, just in case. Wishing star," he said. "I wish to find a place where I can make a difference and do a bit of good." His wish made, Jiminy suddenly felt a strange impulse, an urge to get up, gather his things, and follow that star, the wishing star. Jiminy put out the campfire, then he gathered his things and he took to the road. The little cricket followed that star all through the night. In fact, he walked until the sun came up and he could no longer see the star to follow it. Then he made camp and he slept. After many nights of walking in this manner, at last Jiminy came to a village. It was very late as Jiminy Cricket walked into the village and looked around. Every window of every house was dark, except for one window in a shop at the end of a street. So Jiminy hopped over to the window. Peering inside, he saw that it was a wood carver's workshop, dimly lit by the embers of a fire dying in the fireplace. It seemed a warm and pleasant place to stop for the night. Little did Jiminy Cricket know that it was the home of Geppetto, a kind old wood carver who had just finished work on a puppet he called Pinocchio. Jiminy did not know it, but he had found a place where he would do more than just a little bit of good. And the next story is from 101 Dalmatians. It's called Special Delivery. Roger and Anita had a lot of puppies, and that meant they needed a lot of food. Every Thursday, a truck pulled up full of dog food, and every Thursday Rolly waited by the window for the truck. One Thursday, Rolly and Pepper noticed that the back of the truck had been left open. "Are you thinking what I'm thinking?" Pepper asked Rolly. Rolly nodded. Snack time. Rolly and Pepper made a dash for the truck and leaped into the back. Pepper clambered up onto the pile of bags and sniffed around. There had to be some loose food somewhere. "Bingo!" Pepper cried. "Rolly up here." Rolly was there in an instant. Slurp, slurp, crunch. The two puppies were so busy eating that they didn't see the truck driver come out of the house. Slam! He closed up the back of the truck. A second later, it was rumbling down the road. "Uh-oh," Rolly whispered. After what seemed like a very long time, the vehicle lurched to a halt. The back door opened and the driver began unloading bags of food. Pepper and Rolly jumped out of the van while he wasn't looking. They ran and hid behind the house. "What do you two think you're doing?" a gruff voice asked. The puppies spun around. A big building was looking down at them. A big bulldog was looking down at them. "This is my property," the dog said. "It's time for you to scram." You don't scare me, Pepper said boldly. You're not half as bad as Cruella. The bulldog's mouth fell open. Do you mean Cruella de Vil? He asked. You must be Pongo and Perdita's puppies. I heard about your adventures over the Twilight Bark. Your parents must be worried about you. I'd better get you home. Luckily, Pongo and Perdita were out that day and didn't realize that a pickle Rolly and Polly had gotten themselves into. But there were 97 puppies waiting in the front yard as Rolly and Pepper arrived with their escort. Wow, said Lucky, after he'd heard their tale. Were you scared of that big, mean bulldog? No way, Pepper said. That bulldog was all bark and no bite. Thank you, my friends, for listening to tonight's stories, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bisous.